folks. Welcome back. I'm still here despite how much Kevin wants to hit that button. And Kevin...
Where's Hindu?
Hindu is losing in Magic. Anyway, we're here, and we've got an exciting matchup for you today. Cognitive Gaming versus Team Solo Mid. If you tuned in during the off week, you got to watch us in the Cognitive Invitational, and these two teams faced off very well, and Cognitive really put up a fight, despite what a lot of people at home, I think, might have thought.
Yeah, in this Cog versus Eager matchup, Cog was able to take game one at the land, and I think this is going to be a very intense set here in the SPL, because Cog, they looked... So both teams actually looked much better than they did on the SPL, and Eager had a rough start, I'd say, to their set, which they did end up winning. But
to their set? Absolutely, they had a rough time. Cognitive went crazy. You're not even putting it lightly. Cognitive had what was their best game of the split easily at Cognitive Invitational against Eager. Very easily.
But the problem for me with Cog is that I don't want to say they're one-dimensional, but right now they have very limited game schemes, and I'd say that's more to do with the fact that they've only been together for a couple weeks. I mean, we always talk about it, but it's very important. We actually did not see them play as a unit once, one time, until the start of the fall split. And why is Djpernicus light? Like, look at him. He's taking like a model photo. Well, and like the other four are just like regular lighting. It's fine. But Djpernicus, they got like the special light on him.
Djpernicus actually brings his own light box and his own photographer. No, I'm just kidding. But one thing I do like, ARor, please keep this up, production, or as you pull it out. ARor last time around, he specifically said, "Why do you have that picture of me? I look like I'm squinting so much." And then we go the extra mile to take a new picture of him. He's still squinting in his picture. So we got a new picture for you, ARor, but this time it's your own bad.
I mean, he took them both times. Like, they're both his own bad. They're going to be matching up against Eager, though, who played very good. I mean, they went to game 5 against Cloud9 in the finals of the COG Invitational, and I want to give full credit to lassiz here. I think he had some of the best Smite he has ever played since he began Smite like 3 years ago, and wow. I don't think I've given lassiz I don't know if I just haven't given him enough respect or if it's just like he played that much better than he typically does, but I mean, if lassiz can bring what he brought to the COG Invitational to the rest of the split, I mean, Eager for me becomes a top-tier team, like a clear top-tier team.
I also agree. lassiz was the big boy there at the Cognitive Invitational last week, but in general, this team really stepped it up. And one of the important things, we talk about how Cognitive, both of these teams really grew. Cognitive gets to grow by way of LAN. The last time we saw a team meet for the first time at LAN, they were called Cog Red, now known as Team Solo Mid. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to Cognitive, but teams grow once you be able to meet each other and hang out in real life, and that's exactly what we saw out of polarbearmike, the support player. Not only has he never been at a LAN, but he's never been at a LAN with these specific players, able to come in and do that at a high level. Both of these teams are going to grow, and I think both of these teams, as we get into picks and bans, will perform at a much higher level than we're used to seeing.
Picks and bans. Game 1, COG versus Eager. Eager going to be first to pick, and this is what they prefer. Actually, in all 5 games at the COG Invitational, in the finals at least, they were first pick every single time. They're going to ban away... I don't want to say ARor. What I'm looking for is ARor. They're banning away ARor.
I made a face real quick before I remembered ARor was on this team.
This was like, I'm pretty sure that was the fastest ban Eager has ever made in Smite. I mean, that is like one of the big keys to COG is that ARor, if he gets Ares, he's very similar to Dardes, except it seems like he never falls behind like he did a game. He just goes.
I mean, ARor made a name for himself in the SPL playing Fenrir support. And then normal for him is Ares, right? So dialing it back to the Guardians, we see Ares, and that really was a big deal for him personally.
Oh,
and then
man.
Hell is something that TheBest played very well.
This is completely targeting COG's primary game plan, where they have a very aggressive support on ARor, and then they like playing either high damage or this Hell that they've brought in the mid lane and allow DJ to play basically a babysit jungler, where he just sits in the mid lane. They basically duo that wave, share all the jungle camps, and just try and make it to late game where they're nearly unstoppable. Eager, they're not trying to lock out the top picks in the game. You can see Khepri's available, Serqet's available. Which like is all these typically, like Wukong's available. They're all up.
Cognitive does the same thing. They ban Freya and Giannis, two characters that, just like Ares and Hell, no surprise to really see them banned, but they're not necessarily the go-to bans right away because of how powerful they are in Eager's hands. However, as you said, that leaves many other powerful gods.
I mean,
the 3 gods that were banned in both sets last game are picked here: Sun Wukong, Khepri, and Serqet, because everything else is respected.
I mean, Cog's pretty happy with that. Those are some of the 3 biggest picks right now, and Djpernicus' Serqet is probably one of the best in the game. You heard ShadowQ on an interview a couple weeks ago when Denial played them that you just cannot give Djpernicus Serqet. He is so good with it. He loves to gank. He loves to fight all the time, and that is a god that allows him to do so.
It's the options. We always talk about how DJ likes to play tanky gods, but those tanky gods generally have options available. Serqet has a lot of options as well. You're busted to mention this Poseidon.
It's not even Poseidon. I want to mention the Athena.
Oh, really?
I think polarbearmike, his best games at the LAN were on Athena by far. I think this god, I don't know what it is with him in it, but it just seems he's always comfortable. Other gods, he plays them all at high levels, right? But I see fewer to no mistakes when PBM gets Athena. He's just so proficient on it. He understands the god better than it seems like the other supports, and he just near perfect play coming up for him. And then Poseidon as well.
I thought you were excited about Poseidon because I am. Lassiz, I mean, Lassiz has been talked about a lot because of his performance last week, and the Poseidon was super intense. We saw the Poseidon, the whirlpools were almost more important than the Krakens. The lack of Krakens were great because they came out in better times. The decision-making out of Lassiz on this Poseidon was very strong. Fenrir, because Eager was thinking the same thing I was thinking. Maybe this Khepri isn't going to ARor. Let's fan out the Fenrir support.
You never know. I mean, you can't give ARor anything aggressive. It could also be a shot at Meerkat, maybe, although we haven't really seen him play too much Fenrir. But you can never be sure with the Soul Landers what they have in their back pockets. Osiris going to be locked in for Cog. And the big thing with Eager and how they draft is they are not locked to any specific playstyle or specific god.
Right.
Going through every single one of their members has played 6 or 7 different gods. Where he brought out the Naja. I forgot about this. We were talking about this, right? Daretocare loves Naja as a counter to Serqet.
So Naja is actually, Daretocare loves Naja in general, but largely can't play it because a lot of people believe he's not viable, and a lot of times he's not. But because of Serqet's ability to get in and get out and extend, Naja is able to either long-range ult or long-range sash, and Daretocare, because he's so proficient at this god, can actually catch Serqet. In fact, in the finals, Eager versus Cloud9, Eager won the first 2 games by playing Naja versus Serqet. Naja had to be banned in order for that to sort of stop. So, this time around, we'll see if it works online versus cognitive gaming instead. As they get into the battlefield, we'll take a look at who's on who, and it's no surprise, ARor the support will play on that Khepri.
What if you played like Opwash? What if ARor just like rolled into lane with Opwash? What would you do?
I wouldn't bat an eye, dude. I would just say
not a single eye. There would be no eyes batted.
I would say that is ARor playing support Opwash. He's got a Soul Stone, and he's looking to deal damage.
He's going to get died at like Athena taunt at level 2. So taking a look here really at these team compositions. Lassiz, though, just having some fun with Zap there. Okay. And then he's going to wave.
That. Yeah, he taunted his own Zapman.
Okay, Lassiz. He knows we were going to be watching him. He knows we're watching him.
He's having a lot of fun here. As we said, really, Lassiz, not on the team that wins last week's Cognitive Invitational, but one of the stars, honestly. Really came out to play alongside polarbearmike, who, as we said, went to his first LAN ever and really got to mesh and hang out with the team. And that's one of the things that was really cool. Cognitive gaming, again, much like some of the other teams, they're not necessarily people that you would expect to associate with each other, right? I mean, Djpernicus and Best, they probably have more in common than we know from the outside looking in. But from the outside looking in, it looks like there's not much in common. With that said, this team hung out the entire time. They stayed together, and that's really important. That's really important for when it comes to the game plan, when it comes to time to play, Kevin, that everybody's on the same page.
Daretocare and Omega going to be starting up here on this right-hand side. It's going to be rough for TheBest in the mid lane, especially if Daretocare puts a lot of pressure, which we know he likes to early. TheBest is going to have to invest into early actives. I'd like to see him not only with beads, not only with Aegis, but both of them, like, on his first back. If not, like, because if he allows lassiz to hit 5 and he's still in lane, if Daretocare can come over the wall, find a stun, I mean, Puch just dies. And that's the big thing with him is it's going to be rough for Cog to keep him alive. They do have ARor, right? They have the res, they have the damage reduction, but Meerkat, he doesn't have any direct stuns. He only has slows. DJ, he has a taunt, which is very hard to hit, and you can see TheBest already under half here as Daretocare pressures him out.
Daretocare, not Daretocare specifically, but this god, Naja, will be able to set up this Kraken just as well as some of your standard picks. The Ymirs and the Thors and all those other things that we like to see coupled with the Kraken. Well, Naja can do just as well with 2 abilities, not just a Sash, but also the Windfire Wheels, the ultimate. So you're going to have to watch out for this setup coming from this Naja. Ooh. And Zapman takes a spill. Great shot by Cabom.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened over there, but Zapman was very aggressive. You saw him take a huge amount of damage. Likely got rooted in place and just a significant amount of autos coming out from Cabom. But that's not something we typically see is Cognitive's dual lane getting good early or getting early kills, right? It's ARor will rotate and find kills, but it's never like Cabom gets a kill in lane.
Cabom's always the later on god. Cabom is the character that we see.
The support?
Sorta. Cabom's always the character.
He admits it. He admitted it. He's like, man, I'm just like, they just have me sit in lane and just farm late game and make
honestly,
sure that it
that's
works.
what you want your hunter to do, right?
I mean, it's Allied's game plan.
That's Youngbei's entire career. That's not a bad thing for a hunter to do. This time around, starting off early, Xbalanque gets a first kill. I don't think there's anybody out there that even slightly understands this game that doesn't want a Xbalanque early kill.
Yeah, that's going to be 5 power on his passive. It's going to be much harder for Zap, and Zap picked this Ullr because he likes to be aggressive, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we actually heard Allied talk about it at the analyst desk at the COG Invitational. He's like, you know, I almost feel bad for Zap because it seems that he's much more passive in lane, even just in mid-game team fights. It seems that he's adopted our style, AFK style, because they're scrim partners.
Right.
But then he brings out Ullr, he brings out Ullr, and then he just goes... He actually goes ham, right? Like,
which is what happened, I think, in First Blood. We didn't catch the whole thing, but I think what had happened was Zapman got a little over-eager, which isn't necessarily a problem. Stop that. Stop
F6. F6. That's something I would say.
Which is a problem for the First Blood, but later on, don't be surprised if Zapman decides to do the exact same stuff and winds up on the top side of things.
Omega here on this soul lane, getting controlled by Meerkat, which... this is a very good start for COG because typically who gets it rolling early is Djpernicus and ARor. Meerkat always has rough laning phases, and while he's amazing at team fights, there's typically a lot of jungle pressure in his lane to shut him down early because Djpernicus, teams know he likes to sit around the mid and really help TheBest. But so far, it's Meerkat that's been winning his lane and Cabom finding an early kill. Probably the 2 players who are typically like, all right, we're going to farm until team fights are having the early leads.
Early lead for sure. I mean, it's still a close game. Only about 300 gold separate these teams. Mid-Harpies will be split. Cog gets the ones on the right. Eager gets the ones on the left, complete with a rotation from the hunter, Zapman. So
look at this.
More split. Here comes ARor.
Daretocare and lassiz. They look like they want to try and combo someone. polarbearmike trying to get some baits off in the mid, and lassiz going to take a little bit of poke there from ARor.
No harm, no foul.
A little bit of
4 members for COG here in the mid, though, as Cabom has made the long rotation. Zapman not freezing. He's just going to opt to go ahead and farm.
Yeah, Cabom missed 3 creeps.
Not a bad look.
But I mean, Zapman, he's been aggressive. We didn't mention it earlier, but he was actually over on the left-hand side. Djpernicus looking for a gank, but PBM's going to smell it out in the jungle. And the 2 are just going to go and get their attack speed buff for now here. Very slow-paced game for the most part.
Quite the opposite of the European game we just watched. If you're just joining us, this is the second set of 2. Myrmidons versus London Conspiracy is how we started off our Week 6, with London Conspiracy taking both of those games 2-0 over Myrmidons. So back here in North America, Cognitive versus Eager, we've got a rematch of a game that we saw on land just a week ago.
My big problem with Naja and Poseidon, while they are both very strong, Daretocare might get plucked. No Whirlpool going to cripple him out, and ARor's not able to find that pluck onto Daretocare. Explosion's not going to hit lassiz either. But my problem with Naja and Poseidon is they're both their ultimates, while powerful, are very easily countered. I mean, one set of beads or Aegis just completely negates both of them. And so it's going to be rough if we don't see Ullr get early leads. And is Omega going to get stunned by this? Yeah, Meerkat didn't think he would. And we actually see the ult to lock Omega in place. And Meerkat finds a solo kill in his lane.
Very strange out there to see the solo kills coming out in the solo lane. Here comes the ultimate out of TheBest. It's largely nice defensive, but from the left side, Zapman surprises everyone. ARor ult is good on the mid laner. Wait for it. It's done. And now so is TheBest. 2 kills on the side of Ullr, and 1 goes down on the side of Cognitive Gaming as well.
Yeah, nice timing there coming out from Daretocare. Holding, he recognized the ult. He waited for the Khepri ult to fall off, then he went on. DJ, though, going to be aggressive on the lassiz in the mid, but he's crippled out. He actually can't deathbane through, and he's going to be locked in place as polarbearmike comes crashing into there, and DJ just barely gets out of that one. lassiz super low as well.
Great play by PBM. Better play by lassiz to secure the damage by staying there despite
do it, Cabom.
Looking bad.
I really wanted Cabom just go in. Zapman has no... You got the wards. Zapman has no mana, no health. Do it, Cabom. He's not going to do it.
He might. Now that Zapman's
Zap's back at tower now.
No, not quite.
Right-hand camps and left-hand camps, they're going to be spawning soon. Omega has actually rotated into mid, clearing up that wave and going to allow his team to get more pressure on these. ARor, it looks like he wants to try and defend these rights as Omega trying to choose what he wants to do. Go back to lane or contest, and he has to go back to lane as Meerkat's already pushed him, but Meerkat's going to meet him in the jungle. Ooh, and he actually birded pretty early. He might get stunned out. Is he going to be out in time? No, he's going to get stunned. Just kidding.
All right. Just barely getting out of the range of that Judgment Tether. Omega coming back to lane. He did suffer a solo death, and that's going to cost about 300 gold by way of his opponent. 2v2 in the mid lane.
Right-hand side, DJ being very aggressive onto Omega. They're going to force out Omega's ult, and it looks like, was that ult used by Djpernicus? I'm pretty sure it's still down. No, okay, Omega was able to heal up. I thought the last breath came out.
It's about to come up in about 5-6 seconds, so we'll be able to see another big Serqet gank in just a matter of moments. But first, Team Ullr, they're being invaded inside of their own jungle. Kraken's going to come out and hit 1, but over the top comes Meerkat. He'll hit 2. Windfire Wheel's going to completely miss. Ouch. No death.
Cog has been the aggressors all game, but Ullr's done a nice job. Fantastic positioning and good timing to stay very even with Cog so far. I mean, right now, lassiz, he timed that Kraken perfectly. He waited until last breath came out. And just as DJ actually jumped off of Daretocare, he landed on the ground. Kraken was there. He wasn't able to go anywhere. Took a lot of damage. Forced out ARor's ult early. And it also meant that DJ couldn't be as aggressive anymore. He couldn't try and dive or look for those really deep kills.
There's too many people surrounding to really allow DJ to do what he wanted to do and very clearly wanted to do. So one of the downsides of showing your hand is that the opponent has so many times to respond. So Team Ullr now. Still pretty much a tie game, trailing by about 1,000 gold. No, trailing by 200, my mistake.
No, yeah, no. See, I'm not the only one who can't math.
No, I just need glasses.
I don't care. I need to see the graph. It's easier. I'll like try and do like real quick math, and it's not there.
There you go.
I'm just like, okay.
16 gold in the lead of Cognitive Gaming.
Pressure over onto this right-hand side. Look at this. I mean, Meerkat's being chased between his tier 1 and tier 2. Daretocare's rotated as well, and it looks like Meerkat just spent a little bit too long trying to stay in and get waves. Tier 2 teleport going to be purchased for him as he rotates back in. He's got tier 2, not Sovereignty, but Mystical Mail online, and it's going to be a question of who's going to get that up first.
Taunts coming out from lassiz. Definitely feeling himself a little bit, especially after his performance last week.
Look at DJ in the jungle. Dare recognizes it, takes him to the sky. And he does have no actives, actually. And if lassiz can find the Kraken, he's going to die. But lassiz gets zoned out in the meantime. That was a great play from ARor and TheBest. But Omega has rotated in. There's going to be the blink. And DJ gets out of that one. But ARor and TheBest, for me, were the key there. DJ was as good as dead, but they completely zone out lassiz, force him back under his tower.
Oh, yeah.
He can't hit the Kraken, and DJ escapes death.
Exactly what needed to happen there from those two players in order to save that jungler's life. And Cognitive lands the nail on the head with both a 2-point strategy. Not just a good stun, not just a fantastic taunt, but 2-part strategy to secure the life of Djpernicus. 2-2 are the kills. Both of these teams exactly tied as far as, well, everything on the board. And we'll return to farming our buffs. 10 minutes in, Fire Giant spawned 30 seconds ago. But from the looks of it right now, Kev, no team is anywhere close to wanting that Fire Giant.
No, not anytime soon.
Well,
here.
wanting it, yes. Going for it, different story.
That's not going to be happening anytime soon. And so far, it's been Daretocare playing a very defensive Naja. You don't really see him going too deep into the opponent's jungle unless he's trying to catch someone out there. While DJ, he's been the primary aggressor, but Dare's been done a very good job of keeping tabs on this Serqet. DJ's not able to go to a lane without Dare knowing where he is and at least waiting around the corner for him. So if DJ does go in, they can respond in kind.
So maybe the counter... Naja was picked in largely as a counter to Serqet, but Serqet is just countering that by way of thought process. Understanding where the Naja is going to come out is really stopping Naja from doing what Dare wants to do.
Yes. Mid lane, just going to be clearing waves and sharing this for now. And so far, COG, they've done a good job of keeping Opwash alive, and if they can keep Best alive in these fights, and if they go far, I mean, you can already see the poke damage he's putting out on lassiz with his three ability combo. It's about 40%, 35 to 40% of his life, and I mean, he's just got Boots 3 online, and I love this coming out. Actually, the actives from TheBest very early on. That's what I said they needed to do. But Eager, smelling weakness on COG, no ward control, and they just walk away with the free jungle buff, or excuse me, free Gold Fury.
Cognitive Gaming doesn't take highly to that, and they're going to go ahead and go right on in. Kraken will hit just one, but the crypts are emptied, and the damage is being dealt. Looks like polarbearmike will be the person that falls for that. But if you trade your support for a Gold Fury, that's not a problem.
Any day of the week. COG, though, they're going to take advantage of the players they pushed out and try and pressure this mid tower. Zapman, he's going to be alive 1v4. lassiz, though, he's rotated in as well. No Kraken available. Blink it by DJ. Beats coming out from Zap, and look at that Opwash damage. Zap's forced out, but I don't know if COG's going to be able to secure this mid tower. Yeah, it's going to go down.
12.5 for the first tower of the game. Winds up being lassiz in the middle lane.
Look at DJ. DJ's super low. No ult available. And Omega, he's actually going to bird for him in, but you can see that ward walked right over it, and COG, they're going to squeak out of there.
Yeah, Dare's got about 20-ish seconds. Oh, we're actually just looking at him. He's probably got 20 seconds left on that ultimate, so not able to really catch up and seal the deal. Meerkat comes right on back on the Osiris.
Both the Soul Landers, Mystical Mail online. Should be free for now. Look at that. Best forced to beads. Age is coming through. That's half of Dare's life, but there's no way Best is getting away from this.
Ultimate off of cooldown, but shield wall is good enough. Who's Dare going to ult? No one. He's going to run away with it.
Yeah, that was a smart play. He would have been dead if he stayed.
Great decision.
Meanwhile, yeah, Zap rotated over as well, and that was just, I mean, that's the weakness of Opwash. He walked into the jungle. I don't know if he was trying to ward. Is there a ward there? Or just trying to get some vision on players.
Cabom is chunking. 3 basic attacks bring lassiz down.
He's got Transcendence max. He's got Boots 3.
And 2 kills.
And he's got 2 kills. 10 extra power.
3 basic attacks. Oh, just obliterated lassiz. Zapman caught between a Cabom and an ARor. He walks away, finds himself in his own lane, and he should largely be safe as long as he plays it safe. PBM will join him. Omega versus Meerkat is our solo lane matchup of the day. Mystical Mail versus, well, Mystical Mail.
Yeah, both these Soul Landers, I mean, Meerkat was able to get early kills, but since then, Omega has done a great job of farming. Meerkat, it seems, has been trying to rotate. Also doesn't have the Gold Fury like Omega got, but look at this. They're actually going to go aggressive on a Meerkat. Meerkat, his ult is up, and I think they're just trying to force it, but look at the rotation coming in from the rest of COG, and Meerkat's standing strong with this, but I don't think Eager are going to keep it up. They're just going to get Meerkat low and then back off. Yeah, great play.
It's enough for them to do what they wanted.
Both teams just responded exactly how they needed to. Eager either trying to force out Meerkat's ult, or if he plays it wrong, get the kill. COG recognizing the pressure. Meerkat standing tall. COG rotating in, and then Eager realizing they couldn't keep up the aggression because the team was rotating.
I mean, both of these teams are playing really well. In fact, the only lead here right now is from a surprise Gold Fury that Team Eager managed to sneak. Everything else has really been a gank followed by a counter gank. Even the kills are tied 3-3.
Yeah, Sentry's coming out. It looks like Last is going to get the better of this. Yeah, Cabom, he missed his first auto. His auto also came out a little bit later.
I almost thought both of those basics were going to hit.
That would have been funny.
I would have liked it.
Daretocare continuing to sit here. Can we
He's
highlight
on the
that
ward.
ward? Oh yeah,
he's
he
on
was.
the ward.
I think he was just barely in it. Can Cabom ARor find the Puch? There's no tower, so I mean that was the time to fight for Cog. That's actually one of the big strengths about getting towers is map pressure, because before, if a tower was up, ARor would not have been able to dive that. He would have taken too much damage from tower, would have likely had to back off, but he can make those risky plays. And even if he misses, he's not punished for them.
Exactly. It's 500 gold. These teams are not happy about getting the 500 gold on these towers unless you're getting them in 2s and 3s, you know? It's really about, as you said, the map pressure and the ability to really do whatever you want. Mid lane, eager, being aggressive. Again, playing as if the tower is there.
Left-hand side, we actually see a gank here. Cabom going to be fighting Zapman. PBM, is he going to be able to find the taunt?
They're going for it in. The Aegis is strong, but the taunt is stronger. Basic coming out from Zapman. That's the kill on the Hunter from Eager. No Gold Fury, but the teams are fighting as if there is one. Kraken comes out of the right-hand side, but Djpernicus kills the caster. Lassiz goes down.
Look at this left-hand side, though. It's a 3-on-3. ARor going to try and lock someone in place. It's going to be polarbearmike, but Omega, he had rotated in, but he's stuck around in mid lane, and now he recognizes that the fight's happening. And with the disengage, he's just going to grab those mid-harpies for free. So a 1-for-1. 2 players picked off.
Look at that player damage, Donis.
Oh, yeah, Posh is dumb. I mean, he dies, right? Like, you saw him just like,
Not the response I was expecting, not gonna lie.
Like, Naja just walks up and kills him. But, I mean, if you have really good positioning in a team that can keep you alive, that's what Oposh does. He is supposed to be there at the top of the player damage charts. That is the idea of Oposh.
He's comparable.
He does a lot of damage, but if he's out of position even once, he dies.
Ooh, blinking from Djpernicus talking about out of position. Zapman might be in some trouble, but ARor off the mark with all of these pulls. Unfortunately, we've only seen 1 or 2 successful Khepri abducts.
I mean, it's not the easiest ability to hit, unless you can line it up perfectly. And at max range, it just doesn't travel super fast. It's not the easiest ability to hit. I mean, ARor can hit chains. If he can hit chains, he can hit abduct, right? I'm not
Thank you. 4 to 4 read the kills. As we one more time find ourselves sort of retreating and retracing our former steps. 1,600 gold on the way of Eager.
Look at that good support, polarbearmike.
What's he doing?
Oh, he was just holding the minions for Zap.
Well, what a nice guy.
Basically, Zap would have scolded him if he didn't. He would have been kicked off. Don't hold minions for me. See what happens.
That's the story of ARor, right?
I don't think so.
I'm just kidding.
Nah.
ARor, of course, used to play support for Eager right before polarbearmike joined this team.
Look at this aggression onto Cabom.
Oh, wow. Long
the stun
range
It's just
shot.
going to be poked for now, but he catches the dash. Cabom, no actives, but they're just going to poke him out for now. And polarbearmike, his timings on these taunts have been perfect.
ARor gets the root. Not much after the fact. Level 17 on the Ullr. Level 16 on the Xbalanque. 2 members of COG are here. And Djpernicus is not playing any secrets. Omega is well aware that there is a jungler in his lane. No blink surprise here.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of like staring right at him. I mean, Djpernicus right now is just trying to farm. But a lot of wards, sentry wards coming out for the team. Best, he's going to be caught in place, forced to beads. There's the damage reduction, but no follow-up from Eager. They just forced the beads. That's important. They're beats 3, though, and I like that coming out from Best. He made sure to get actives, and then he made sure to rank them up to max as soon as he can. Still rank 1, though.
One of the things that I did like about that, you mentioned how easy it is to sort of negate what Naja brings to the table as Cognitive Gaming starts up the Gold Fury. Well, you get the sash, and then you don't follow up with the ultimate to allow that to happen. DJ, and there it is. DJ is going to be the victim here as Naja takes him to the sky. Khepri ult right perfectly saves the life of his jungler. Daretocare not able to find the stun either. Kraken just barely off the miss. There goes DJ out of the bottom side of your screen. Will rejoin the fight here in the mid lane. Damage coming out from Eager. Aposh's explosions are done. Now it's all about the sustained damage. The burst is off the table. Cabom uses the Aegis. Omega's all by himself. There's nobody else from Eager here. They've already walked towards the Gold Fury. They don't have the damage for it. They don't have the damage for it. They're just going to walk away and leave Omega in the dust.
I thought Cog lost that fight straight up. I mean, their
Ditto.
communication clearly broke down because you actually saw them reset the Gold Fury 2 times while ARor was trying to save Djpernicus, in which a very clutch Khepri ult there. They reset the Gold Fury multiple times. Then they got pinched, and it looked like lassiz and Ullr were going to win that fight. But now they were able to find a pick, and Cog continuing to be aggressive. Fights all over the place right now. lassiz going to actually get 1v2'd by Meerkat, and look at the body blocks Meerkat's putting out. He hits the sickle. Can he find the Spirit Flail over the top? That's the question. He slowed so much, and he does. Great play by Meerkat. Meanwhile, Naja going to be picked up in the corner. Damage reduction. Meerkat.
Zapman out of nowhere! Bladed arrow from absolutely nowhere. Off screen. Gets the kill.
3 dead, though.
3 dead. But it doesn't matter. Cognitive Gaming still going to go ahead and look at the Gold Fury. And they have 4 members alive. Meerkat, not really the damage dealer they were looking for on the objective. So, with their Hunter, their mid laner, and their support on it, and Djpernicus playing goalie, Cognitive Gaming will be able to pick up this Gold Fury. So, each team has a single Gold Fury. And with that one, game's all but tied.
And a great play coming out from Cog there in that team fight. Like I said before, early on, I thought they had lost that. But they were able to get out a lot of that thanks to ARor. Not only did he hit the clutch ult, saving Djpernicus, but he brought him back to the middle of the team.
Yeah.
They were able to protect him. And then the 40% damage reduction coming out from Rising Dawn, if we can actually hover over that ability, doing so much in the team fights, because it's basically like, well, we really don't want to use our ability. You can take a look there. It's also a protection debuff on the enemy team, right? So your team now takes less damage, and the enemy team takes more damage.
It's team fight in a ball. That's really what it is. You throw it out there, you hit your teammates, you hit the enemy teammates, you get pluses on your side, you get minuses on their side, and all havoc breaks loose.
And it really just kind of scares you off because you don't want to use your abilities while that is active because they're just doing significantly less damage. Mid tower going to be picked up by Eager. Beads were forced onto the best.
In and out. Exactly what Eager wanted to do. They go ahead, they pick it up, and you even heard the loud noise, the wind-fired wheels of Daretocare. No, Dare has no problem using that ult to get out of bad situations, and that is helping him out immensely. If you take a look at the slash line, 1-1-1, it could be 1-5-1. But we've seen the ult come out at least 2 or 3 times in order to preserve his life. And as I said, in and out, it's exactly what Eager wanted to do. They lost the fight. They lost the Gold Fury. But quickly, where are they at? Just go for the gold, take it, run away.
Meerkat 2 levels behind in the solo lane here. Still able to effectively fight in because of the amount of gold that Cog's got. Here comes the big rotation, though. Omega does have everything available. He's got his bird form. He does have his ult. And I think this is actually a bait as the rest of Eager. They're going to rotate in. Polarbearmike, he's going to come crashing down. And now Cognitive Gaming, they're just going to back off of that.
Yeah, they understand. Take a look at the map. No ward caught him. No.
Look at that. Zap rotating. Cabom. A little bit of a misstep from both the hunters, not knowing exactly what they want to do. It's going to be a 4-on-4 on the right-hand side. Polarbearmike. Beads are out, and he dashes away.
PBM has 1 active, and it's Beads.
He also has guard boots. Not something we see too often.
Right, and these are actually very interesting because not only do the beads on the support tell you what Team Eager is afraid of, but the guard boots also do as well. The guard boots will actually reduce the amount of time that Polarbearmike will spend crowd controlled. There's crowd control reduction on that.
30%.
So Team Eager really afraid of Athena being crowd controlled down, whether it's from the stun out of Meerkat, the taunt out of Djpernicus. That's really it.
Yeah, that's really it. Rotation over here onto the right-hand side. Omega knows what's happening. You can see him backing. I don't even think he has that many wards. He just recognizes his map awareness. Very, very strong there. Yeah, and he's just going to back off of there. Naja and Poseidon have rotated back. Teleport is available for Omega, and he'll be able to port back into there if he elects to do so. But doesn't look like he wants to. Polarbearmike going to be dashing aggressively. No one else is behind him, but Cog doesn't know that.
Just stopping some backs. Run away. Just stopping some backs.
I really want to see a winged blade come out from Polarbearmike. I know he's going heavenly, which is going to immune slows, but there's so many slows. Just having that on demand every time it procs, immunity to slows and speed up. It also gives you cooldown reduction. It's a very good item, I think, in this matchup against Cog, who have 2 slows coming out from Meerkat. He's got a massive slow on TheBest and also a big
Cabom.
AoE slow on Cabom with those poison darts.
Yeah, a lot of slows coming out. Crit going to be started by Zapman. has yet to be started on the side of Cabom's Xbalanque. 2-1-2, 2-1-3 for the two hunters, respectively. Yet the lead still lies in Zapman's court.
Zapman.
Yes, Zapman has
That's all
a goal.
that matters. Zapman.
25 minutes in here, folks. It's been a rather, I don't even want to say slow-paced game because we've been treated with lots of team fights and lots of aggression. It's just been a very calculated game. Teams have been very careful about when they want to fight, and when they do want to fight, sometimes nobody dies.
So pretty strong positioning as well. The Best also is not afraid. Like, if Daretocare sashes him, Best just beats. He's not even worried about anyone else. He's just worried about Daretocare exclusively.
As he should be. Naja is essentially Loki in this situation, where his job is to just delete the Best.
Zapman going to counter ward here, and is he going to be able to get into time? Yes, but Daretocare's here as well. Cabom, or excuse me, ARor getting pressured, already at half, and Daretocare takes this guy. He won't die from this, but he's going to land in a lot of trouble with Kraken.
There's the damage coming out from the Whirlpool.
Oh,
Khepri ultimate is down, which is fine. That's really what Ullr was looking for.
Oh, the abduct.
Dash is going to miss out of ARor, and the crypts are empty. That's a win for Ullr.
Abduct just barely missing, likely would have led to a dead Naja, although she did have Aegis, and now Zapman going to be starting up this Gold Fury, but Cog, they're not going to let it up for free. Dash in, taunt coming out, beads forced by Djpernicus. He's going to actually be locked in place. A lot of damage. Kraken comes through, but damage reduction doesn't matter. DJ still falls. Polarbearmike super low in the back lane. Meerkat trying to dive it, but everyone is trying to protect him. You can take a look, doesn't matter. Meerkat still finds the kill. Zapman also locks him down, and now it's a 3-on-4.
Ullr knows they need to turn it around. They succeeded by getting two of the bigger team fight ultimates off the table before this even happened. Cabom is going to die to the hand of Omega. Credit assist to, well, the rest of the entire team. The Best gets 3 chomps and a 4th from landing. Sash will miss, but there's the ring. 1-2, bounces is strong, Aegis is strong, but just for a second. Daretocare picks up with the basic.
Ullr going to win that fight clean there, 4-for-1. And now they're going to take the kill lead and the goal lead, grabbing the second Gold Fury for themselves. 4K in the lead. They're going to rotate over and grab this Tier 1 tower as well. Great play all around from them.
That was the extended play. As I said, the reason that fight went the way it went was because they were able to, I don't even want to say bait out, they forced the use of the Best's ultimate and they forced the use of ARor's ultimate without having a large zone-denying army of the dead, and without having a battle res to their name, Cognitive Gaming was not able to respond to what Ullr gave out. They forced them to use their tools, and they come on right into the tool shed.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a look at the damage. 21,000 from the Best, 16,000 from Meerkat, and 12,000 from Cabom. They're controlling the top 3 spots in damage. However, Ullr's just playing a better team game, it seems. At the very least in that last fight, right?
Yeah.
Maybe across the board, not so much. It's been pretty even, but very well done in that last engagement.
We see similar, similar comparison to what we saw over in Europe. The kills are very similar, 9-8, very even, but the gold a different story. 5,000 gold on the side of the blue squad. Ullr, because of the objective, because of what they were able to take off of the kill. Polarbearmike a little ahead, gets a taunt onto ARor. Here comes 3 members of Ullr. Stun is good. Ring not going to bounce. Smart play by Meerkat.
Just going to pop the tether, just scare him off there. Making sure their damage is going to get reduced. And Ullr, they're taking a look at this Fire Giant. They're going to counter ward and put 4 members over here on this right-hand side. Meanwhile, Zapman, you can tell, looking at his positioning, he's looking to split push. Kraken comes out, but a great beads by the Best. That was just a timing error. I mean, Ullr just thought the beads were down. That was the call,
exactly
clearly, but the beads were just up just in time for the Best.
Lassiz will have to wait 80 seconds before he's able to deal out that burst one more time. On the other hand of things, Daretocare does have his ult. So beads were used to get rid of the Kraken, but that means the beads won't be available for the Windfire wheels. You saw the amount of damage Naja was able to deal with that before to the Best. Titan's Bane starting to be finished by Naja as well, so he'll be able to go even further beneath the defenses.
Omega actually birded into 4 members, and now we actually see a lot of damage coming out. Is he going to land on the Best in time? No. Polarbearmike, he's going to come crashing down. There's the taunt, the Best. He has no beads. Where's he going to go? ARor's going to ult, but Best actually Aegis, so he's not going to get the life reset.
Problematic for Cognitive Gaming one more time in what seems to be a non-team fight. Forced out the ultimate of ARor. The Best still has his. That's a big zone. But Cabom uses his. So 2 ultimates down one more time. ARor grabs the abduct, but it's Polarbearmike who's able to grab one of his own. Damage coming out onto Meerkat. Not quite.
I mean, ARor is going to be forced to back here. And take a look at Djpernicus. He's just going to split push in the meantime, put pressure on the mid lane, but he's not going to be able to get to that tier 2 tower in time at all. I mean, teleport, it's still, actually, no, it's down for Omega, but I mean, these players are going to be able to back. DJ just trying to get some farm, trying to catch up. He's level 19.
Well, I think what's important is DJ wouldn't have been able to do anything there anyway.
Oh, no. Doing what he's doing is fine.
Right.
But it looks like Eager, they're going to turn their sights to the Fire Giant.
Ooh,
Meerkat ports
Meerkat's
in.
here. He finds out a little bit too late, and now Osiris is in the Skyrus.
Yeah, this is real bad for Cog. Meerkat lands on a Kraken. His ult was up, but it didn't even matter. Actually, no, his ult was down. Didn't even matter. Look at DJ off here to the side. It's very unlikely that he's going to be able to rotate in and pick someone off. He only has Deathbringer online. He's basically trying to bet on an RNG crit, and he's going to get spotted out here. That ward in lane, not able to find it. Lassiz. It's going to be very hard to catch Djpernicus here. Did Lassiz just beats for cooldowns? Oh, he's going to be able to catch the slow, but a great blink.
I believe the artist is Benny Hill. That makes the music that is supposed to be here. And somewhere, Hinduman is agreeing with me. I know that you don't get it, but Hinduman does.
I know what Benny Hill is.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
It's the chase music.
The chase music?
Actually, if DJ can stay alive, he looks good, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stay alive.
Beats are good. Ooh.
Oh, the taunt! What, DJ? He actually taunted polarbearmike after the dash. Perfectly launches him into Lassiz, and he just escapes that one.
Djpernicus, crafty. That was a crafty escape. Zapman, hunter for Eager, still looking very strong. He is level 20, one of the first players on his team to hit level 20. Everybody is generally there with the exception of support, but Zapman was one of the first to reach there. Looking very strong on this Ullr. Ullr, as he likes to call it.
Do you take a look at Gold in hand? Zapman definitely working on Deathbringer for his last item, but you could see no player has more than 500, well, except ARor.
Worth saying, actually, Deathbringer also changed in the most recent patch. Does not affect hunter builds as far as people that want to keep the same amount of damage or competitive damage. The Deathbringer still stays in the hunter build. The Malice will come into play when you're playing gods like Hunt Bats, etc. But if you're looking for consistent crits, well, then it's all about the Deathbringer. And for Team Eager, it's all about the Gold Fury as they pick up another one. Team Eager, 74,000 gold. Cognitive Gaming, 64,000
You said another one too many
gold.
times? You said it 3 times, right? But that's saying that they had one originally, which would have been 4.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Tier 2 tower being barked down as well, so Team Eager able to take a little bit.
12k gold lead right now. I mean, this blew up. This game was very close, right? When the kills were like 9 to 8, Team Eager had like just won a big fight, had a 4k gold lead. Since then, there's been only 1 additional kill, and Eager has expanded that lead by 8,000 extra gold. So, in a very good spot right now.
A lot of that comes from the Fire Giant that Eager was able to pick up, and Cognitive is smart enough not to fight them under tier 1s or these small... The problem is, it's easy to say, we can give him a tier 1. You say that too many times, all of a sudden you've got no tier 1 towers.
Yeah.
It's easy to
or
say,
tier 2s.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what had happened here. Cognitive Gaming unable to really fight under these smaller objectives. A bunch of smaller objectives winds up being a big lead, 13k on the side of the blue squad.
I really like what Eager did here. They're giving a lot of respect to Cog. They recognize that they don't have that if they play the team fight just a little bit wrong, that Cog will be able to roll because I mean it's Khepri ult, right? If you invest a lot into one god and he gets revived, like if you crack at someone and then he just comes back to life and he's put in a better position for it could just spell the end for your team. And we actually saw that very early on with Djpernicus being saved at that first Gold Theory fight. And so they're just going to back, they clear the map, they're not going to pressure or risk pressuring Phoenixes, and they're going to spend the big gold lead they got.
Exactly. I mean, as the old adage goes, fool me once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, shame on me. So...
Fool you got fooled once, twice? You are just not feeling it right now, are you, Tom?
I guess not. If we're taking a look at the Serqet, we do see the Deathbringer and the Malice.
Oh, look at this bait. I mean, there's no wards for Cog here. You can see them. They're going to roll up this right-hand side. They just want them to come and check their speed buff or check into that pressure.
They really want them to come. They blew off the fireworks.
Is that like the call to action?
Yeah, that's Lassiz saying, hey, we're here. I'm pretty sure you can see the fireworks over the walls.
Look at this split push, too. 5 members rotating over just to deal with Omega.
That's exactly what Eager wants.
Fire Giant going to be spawning here in about 20 seconds. And it looks like Eager just trying to push up all the lanes. You can see the right-hand side, the left-hand side, and the mid lane pushed up. This puts a lot of pressure as we'll take a quick pause here and get back in the game as soon as we can.
And that's pretty much the goal of what Eager was trying to accomplish there. They were looking to essentially just waste the time. It was hurry up and wait, as Dryberry used to say.
Yeah.
Hurry up and wait for the Fire Giant to spawn. That's really what the teams want to fight over. Anything else doesn't really concern them. They don't want a team fight over nothing in the jungle. They don't want to get caught out being over-aggressive on the Phoenix. They'd rather just wait. Again, this was a tie game until Fire Giant went down. Second time around, we'll fight after Fire Giant comes up again.
It's just a very calculated play coming out from Eager. They're not taking big risks, and this is what we really see from high-level teams, right? They'll be aggressive, but they be aggressive. They're aggressive with restraint. They recognize not only their own, like, it's not just, hey, we've got Fire Giant, we're super strong, but they also recognize what the other team can do, and if they feel it's not worth pressuring a Phoenix that early into the game, right, when they're still not full build and they don't have that big of a lead, they don't. So they take all the towers, they clear the map out, and then they're just they're baiting, right? You can see that's where right now what Eager's trying to do. Fire Giant's about to spawn when we get back in the game in about 10 to 20 seconds. Actually, I believe it actually just spawned before we got, and they're just trying to find a pick. They may not even fully commit to Fire Giant unless COG just give it to them, which COG very likely could just give it to them because they know that Eager's trying to bait them. I mean, it's a lot of mind games, but
and Eager is by no means a perfect team, but one of the things that I think that Eager does very well is exactly what you were talking about, being careful about the lead you have. I always say it's important to play the lead. When you have a lead, you want to take fights that you can, and you want to be able to push objectives. But in the same vein, you can't let the lead play you. You can't think that you're too far ahead. You can't think that you can 3v5 no problem, because even with 10,000 gold, 3v5 is a problem. So Eager understands that, and as we said, they took a bunch of towers and they didn't fight. They understand they have a lead and they're pushing it, but they're not going to let the lead play them by getting over aggressive. So wait for it, go on to the Fire Giant, and with that, we'll see the next big push from Eager. So if you want to look at the smaller strategies in play, Eager's not going to sit there in the base and do nothing while they're waiting for Fire Giant. They were pushing up the lanes.
Yeah, I think for this next engagement, wherever it happens, I think there's 3 keys that I'm looking at on how this fight's going to be determined. First off, most importantly, is TheBest. He's been sitting with his Poch at the highest damage all game, but he's had his beads forced out before every major engagement by Daretocare. Is that going to happen, or are they going to be able to protect them? Is he going to be able to keep those beads and his Aegis for critical moments like the Krakens, like the taunts, before the fight breaks out? And is Eager going to be able to lock him down? Because if they can just blow up TheBest as the first player they target, like, the fight's almost done for COG. They don't have the damage.
I wonder if, knowing that Naja was going to be picked, if we would have seen a Geb instead of a Khepri.
It's possible. I mean, the Khepri was available for the first pick. I mean, it's something that they just really wanted to grab.
Of course.
Yeah. Secondly, for me, it's going to be Meerkat. And Meerkat has been diving Eager's back line all game. I mean, he's gotten picks on lassiz and as well as polarbearmike. And while he did fall for it one time, he's just been able to just run past 3 people nonstop. And they're trying to stop him, right? It's not like they're just like, hey, I'm just gonna die here. Meerkat's diving me. It's like polarbearmike's like doing his best to body block. Zap's like just trying to damage him before he can get through. But Meerkat's able to dive that back line. Is he going to be able to dive someone's back line, or is he going to stay in the fight? Because tether is very important. Like, if he can reduce a Kraken's damage by 35%, if the tether ticks that long, that's big.
And I think that's the moment to stress it. 35% damage reduction. Just think about that. A lot of times, we all know that tether reduces the damage, right? But the amount of which is very, very strong. If you're just joining us, this is game number 1 of a 2-game set. 35 minutes on the clock. Team Eager has taken what has largely been a tie game.
Look at over in the right-hand side
with a Fire Giant.
Polarbearmike getting very aggressive, and it looks like actives were not forced out. Actually, beats 3 down on Cabom. That's going to be important.
He will not be able to get out of the CC, and that, in turn, might make him a great target for Naja.
Eager's just trying to force actives, right? They don't necessarily want to full commit to a fight. They want to force actives. So when they do full commit to a fight, the fight's basically over. They're going to be starting up the Fire Giant here, and actually Omega, he's going to get plucked by Khepri in the meantime. Meerkat going to get zoned out by 2 players. There's only 2 people on Fire Giant, and Meerkat's doing so much damage to Daretocare.
Daretocare takes him up to the sky. A lot of damage coming out, but he might be in trouble when he lands. Daretocare, on the other hand, not quite gonna fall.
He's so low. Can they find him?
Not quite. Stun gonna be good on to Djpernicus, but the beats were still on him. So he gets out of there no problem. Kraken knocks up Meerkat in the sky, and the Whirlpool finishes the deal. TheBest picks up a kill onto Daretocare, and now Omega's surrounded, but he's got an Athena channeling on him. That should be some damage, and a free and safe Sun Wukong.
Omega was definitely in the store there. ARor taking a lot of damage. He has no ult available. He slowed so much. He took the full damage from the Whirlpool. Zap jumps in. Zap's
Cabom.
finding the crits. Cabom, he can't fight into this. Omega, he's teleported back in after getting low and eager. They find 3 picks after it looked like a fight that Cog was going to win.
DJ gets knocked back by Poseidon. Quickly changes from Zapman to Poseidon, and lassiz says no. Sends the jungler packing. Omega says no. Sends the middle lane packing, and Eager says no, sends cognitive packing. Fire Giant no longer in their prerogative. 30 seconds until ARor is coming up, and he's the closest one to alive. Eager is going to go for this Phoenix, and then most likely the Titan.
No, they're not going to go for the game yet. I mean, they just don't have the damage with these
lassiz
players.
Fell back.
Yeah, I mean, Meerkat spawning in 5 seconds, ARor would be up. It would be a 2v3 with Zapman low and no mana, but they will take the free Phoenix, and I'm pretty sure...
I thought lassiz was still there, and
now lassiz like, all right, guys, have fun.
Is,
he was like 1 hit. Like, he could have got hit by a minion and died.
Knowing how aggressive Eager is, I thought lassiz was still in tow, and they're
showing restraint. I told you.
Fire Giant, the smarter choice here.
Oh, Meerkat's rotated in, though. He's going to go immediately onto Zapman, who has no mana. I don't even think he's going to try and steal it. Yeah, there's no point. Just force them off, force them to take damage. Zapman's sticking to it, though. He has no mana. He can't get out of this.
Gonna turn it to the accents to get away from the stun from Meerkat. Fire Giant's still there. Team Eager has destroyed the Fire Giant. They do pick it up. And we're going to have one more pause. We're going to come back to the game in just a little bit. But Fire Giant goes the way of Team Eager. They make the intelligent decision and don't push into the Titan, despite what this caster might have thought.
That was close, right? I mean, that was very close. We saw Meerkat. He was trying to lock down Zap. polarbearmike plays a very good defensive support there.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling him off, Zap likely to get away, and the Meerkat's like, oh man, the Fire Giant's low.
I feel like we can see the difference in polarbearmike from week 4 to week 6.
I mean, I told you, like, I think his Athena is probably one of his best supports, at least from the LAN.
Sure.
At the LAN, it was a very good for him.
And we've just seen that. We've seen the cohesion. And likewise, on the side of Cognitive, I think we've seen sort of that team grow as well.
So, right now, Eager, clearly in the lead. Cog, though, they had started to win that last fight, but then I don't want to say they trickled in. I think it was more that Eager focused down individual players because we saw them all of Cog was near each other. They were just a little bit spaced out. I mean, you don't always necessarily want to like be hugging each other, but then all of a sudden we actually see like Eager just collapse on one player, take him out, collapse on one player, take him out, collapse on one player, take him out, and Cog actually invested a lot trying to lock down Omega, who was still able to get out, and then ARor got picked in return because of it. It's just very unfortunate. They didn't have the damage to lock down Omega.
And Omega does get out of there. Sun Wukong,
and then teleports back in and makes a play. And
that's as Bart has sort of coined the Omega, the back to base and teleport right back into the fight, time and time again. I mean, it's been doing it since he's on Cloud 9. He joined this team Eager in the beginning of the fall split and has largely been plug and play. Anatoly, the previous solo laner for Team Eager, has a very similar sort of warrior guardian type of god pool front line.
He's just like, I'm gonna sit in my lane. Leave me alone. Dare, go get Zap ahead.
Get
lassiz
That's actually a quote.
Have fun.
Not Dare to Care, but Omega actually said, leave him alone. He doesn't want help in the solo lane. It's his song and dance. And I mean, unfortunately for him, he falls in the 1v1 kill early on to Meerkat.
I mean, he took back control of that lane, though. I mean, heading into like, he had the level lead, I believe, by the 15-minute mark, maybe a little bit earlier, but I mean, he was fine. Omega, probably one of the most, if not the most efficient solo lane farmer in the game. He's always sitting at the top of GPM charts, no matter back when he was on Cloud 9, now when he's on Eager. He's just that good at finding XP and gold around the map.
Right. Yeah, so just figuring out sort of where to go is probably one of the harder things that the SPL players really need to do, and being able to hang out at the LAN really was one of the more exciting things. As we get the game going, it's worth talking about that Cognitive Invitational that was last week. The VODs are available; you can go ahead and find them. But we had a lot of fun as far as that's concerned. I was casting alongside Bart, and Adonis was really the one-man captain running the show, running the ship.
Something like that.
Something like that. That is the one time he'll ever be modest, folks. But no, seriously, we had a lot of fun over there. A lot of the teams got to hang out. And as I said, it was more of a relaxed environment. Everybody wanted to win, but we saw players just hanging out, having a good time. And I think almost more so than a competitive LAN that might have helped these two teams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just like meeting each other. It was awesome for them. And, looking at this game, you could see how competitive it's been so far. I mean, it's just been back and forth. I got you.
I got another one, don't worry.
No, it's okay. Why do you have 2 pins?
For that reason.
So when you lose one? All right, we're going to be rolling in a game here in a second. And for me, Cog could still fight into this team. I mean, you could tell, you could see it's been back and forth. And at this point, it's really about how good these teams are at team fights, how good are they at organizing. And we saw, I think they won a lot because Ullr wasn't able to really focus down the best early on.
Not early on, and that's sort of the problem. It's interesting how much this parallels to games at LAN. Fire Giant.
I bet you lassiz secures this
down.
FG.
We'll take a
bet
look.
You. $5. $5 as they say. Oh, they got it.
Oh, Team Ullr gets the Fire Giant, and now they're aggressing back onto Meerkat real quick. Here comes the rest of Ullr, and ARor's in tow. Daretocare brings
ARor, just give him up, man.
Brings
give him
one
up,
down.
ARor. No. ARor's going to get caught. So we talked about it before where Ullr kind of just locked down players one at a time, but ARor just, I don't want to say killed himself, but killed himself.
ARor in an attempt to save a teammate.
Even if he was able to res Meerkat there, I think they both would have fallen. And actually, lassiz, he's going to crack in Djpernicus, who rotates around behind them. And now DJ, he's super low. He's going to be forced to back here. And it looks like all of Ullr, are they focusing on the Titan, or are they going to look for the mid Phoenix?
They're going right past the Phoenix. They're here on the right-hand side. Cabom is scaring them enough to not have Ullr go right on in. Omega leading the charge, of course.
Look at Best positioning. They don't know he's here. He could actually find a nice explosion damage, yeah, and doesn't look like it's going to be enough, though. Zap's going to aggress into the Titan, trying to lock down the Best. Beads are forced early. Best thought that stun would have hit, and now Ullr, they're kind of all over the place here. Titan, it's about half. Zap going to get blown up, and it looks like Cog might be able to fight. It's going to be real close, though.
lassiz gets the kill and takes out the Titan with some magical damage on the side of Poseidon. Neck and neck for a large part of it, but Ullr winds up taking the lead and the win in game number 1. Don't forget, best of 2. Well,
Yeah,
not best of 2, but 2 game set.
The best of 2. Because the best is on Cog.
Oh, I'm well aware, Kevin.
So, Ullr, a very clean game from them. It was very back and forth early on for about the first 20 minutes, and then they were able to find the one real opening team fight where they kind of split Cog up, and that's really what we started to see is that Cog, I don't necessarily know if they were split up or if Ullr just did a good job of picking a player and targeting them and locking them down.
Targeting and locking them down is exactly how this fight started over there in Ullr versus Cognitive Gaming. We'll take a look at the first blood right here as we get rolling, and it's going to be Cabom.
Oh, yeah, we didn't actually see this. All right, I want to see what happens. Zap gets first blooded here. So he gets rooted, he gets plucked into a minion wave, into a lot of dot damage, including archers, and then Cabom just hits him with the auto. Okay.
Yeah, not even aggression like we
that
had
makes
assumed.
sense.
I kind of assumed it was Zapman jumping on in and getting stuck, but this time around, just good play coming out from ARor and his dual lane friend Cabom.
I thought you were going to say support. Thought you were going to say dual lane support.
Not quite, but the Ullr comes out on top. He's going to be your player of the game as Ullr does take this one above their opponent's Cognitive Gaming. So Zapman on the Ullr looking strong as ever. 4, 2, and 12 on the Hunter.
Yeah, this was a very team-oriented win for me, looking at it. I mean, Zap basically just did the most damage, made the most plays in the team fights, but as a team, Ullr played and won this. And look at it. I do want to talk about that taunt specifically. I know we're looking at Zap, but polarbearmike dashes in, and he doesn't taunt. He waits. Cabom Aegis is trying to immune it. After Aegis ends, he then gets pulled. Great combo from the dual lane, right? And polarbearmike and Zapman, you can really see the synergy and how strong it is this late into the game. And these sniped axes coming out from Zap were huge.
The accuracy on Zapman's Ullr is, I mean, that's the reason that we joke around and call it the Ullr, is because Ullr is a character that is not really meta dependent. It's just a matter of, can you hit your abilities, or larger, can you hit your bladed arrow and your hail of arrow without a stun? And that's largely what Zapman does. And here what you're seeing is just positioning on display. We get to see the entire team fight from Zapman. He spends the entire time on the backside of things dealing damage from a distance. And then when it's time to get dirty, goes right on in against Cabom and then continues the fight.
So, I mean, just great play all around from them. Eager able to walk away with game one, though, as we head into game two.